Hello, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Lygia here with your new moon forecast. So I'm doing something a little bit different this time. Usually I use the Moonology decks, which is by Yasmin Bolid, but this time we're going to actually be using the Shaman's Dream. It's kind of an interesting one. Sorry about the lighting there. It's by Colette Baron-Reid and Alberto Villoldo. And what's nice about this is we're delving in deep. Like it's a shamanic deck and it delves in deep. And this is what we're doing at this time. A lot of things are happening with regard to the aspects, the astrological aspects. And because of it, the energies are really affecting us at this time. And if you want to know more about the astrology, I urge you to actually check out a couple different people. Pam Gregory is one on YouTube, and Joni Patry is another really good one too to check out to see two different views of what the astrology is doing right now. And it's gonna get pretty intense. Actually, I'm just gonna say it's gonna get pretty intense, and how it affects us at this time will be reflected in the oracle card reading we're going to have today for the new moon reading. So let's get right into it. So the first card that we have, once again, I pick the cards, but I don't look at them. We look at them together, is Fool's Embrace, Transmuting Pain. Lovely card, isn't it? Matches my background. Anyways, what I find is very interesting, transmuting pain, just from my own reflection. I'm going through the basically a bunch of my old stuff, things that I did in my past. So as I go through them, I'm finding that I'm feeling very nostalgic, that I'm reliving some of the pain that had happened back then, or basically realizing that it's triggering some emotions that I need to release. And boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, it's only been the first day of this week, and the triggering has been pretty intense as of yesterday. So that being said, that's transmuting pain. What we're doing right now is it's saying basically that any pain that we are feeling at this particular time, or anything that is triggering us, we can transmute and or do an alchemical process by switching that to our highest good. In other words, anything that is bringing you a said pain, like sadness or depression or anger or shame or guilt, anything of those low energies can be transmuted. It can be looked at as something that is very learning at this time, very the experience helping us to learn about who it is that we are today, and what it is that we need to do to help us along this life journey. And this is, to me, this is a very interesting card, because as it calls out the Fool, what I think about this is the fact that the Fool brings about some kind of comedic action, but it stimulates some kind of an emotion to those who are watching. And that, I believe, is what is happening at this moment. And we have that opportunity to take that emotion, change it, and experience it, whether it is bringing about fear that we need to look at. And this is one of those things that we really do have to do before we move forward and bring in this newness, this new energy. The new moon for this time period is basically a fairly important one too, because of the different astrological aspects. And once again, I urge you to go and take a look at what's going on, just because it is bringing out that part of us. It's bringing out all the guck that needs to come out. And this is the opportunity that we have to transmute it. It brings in, once we deal with these past emotions, whether it's coming up from this lifetime or some in the past lifetimes that brings about a karma, we allow for the new energies to come in. And these new energies are pleasant. They're harmonious, peaceful, happiness, some joyfulness, some abundance. Things, an abundance of anything, basically, could come to you once you deal with that guck. And it is a time for actually going into the depths of our being and really tackling those things. So let's look at this card in the guidebook and see what is said in here. So the Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain, allowing life to love you, the experience of both and. The pain of life is sometimes unbearable. When we're in it, we think that pain, that loss, that betrayal will always be woven through our continuity of existence. We're kept hostage by the way we identify with pain and what we make it mean. If we let it, it becomes etched into us like a tattoo. No matter where on the spectrum of pain you find yourself now, whether it be mild disappointment or searing loss, it's time to make peace with it. Befriend it rather than resisting it, running from it, or judging it as bad or unfair or hostile. Can you see the gift that is here? Surrender to the Fool's Embrace, allowing the truth to envelop you in love and compassion. What if you could learn something amazing from this? And that's what I was saying. It's an experience so that you can reflect upon it and see where you can go from now. What is truly yours will not pass you by. Something better and perfect for you is waiting elsewhere. If you could come to terms with the liberation and freedom inherent in loss, your broken heart might open you up to a greater sense of humanity and compassion. As in the narrative of tarot, the Fool will be at the beginning of your life's adventure and at the end when you've integrated all the wisdom you've accumulated along the journey. He will never let you down or lie to you. He will, however, teach you how to revel in both the beauty and the desperation of life. Both and this and that will always be true. Remember, the pearl can't be created without the gritty sand, causing discomfort and acting as a catalyst in the oyster. Your pearl is discovered in radical acceptance that everything has value. All is well now and will be well. Remember that today, as you feel the Fool's Embrace. This too shall pass. We've heard this many, many times. If you are going through some experiences right now, or basically reflecting upon experiences that you've been through that are bringing up some emotion that could be considered negative emotions, it is necessary in order to find the right balance within your life, to come back to a state of balance. And this is very important because this is kind of what's going on in the world right now. There is upheaval, chaos, and there's likely more to come before a balance is achieved. The outside is always a reflection of what we have on the inside, and that's exactly what is going on at this particular time. So listening to your inner self, feeling those emotions, let those emotions come up, feel them, let them go. Let the emotions go. As you have the emotion of guilt or shame or something that may have happened in the past, make sure to take the time, deal with it, look at them, but let them go, because there's no point in having them now. They've already happened. So why not just move on? This is something, it might be easier said than done, but it is definitely something I'm going to say again and again. Let your emotions go. Experience them, but let them go. So let's go on to the next card here for the new moon reading. And we've got Deep Diver, diving into a task. Ooh, lovely. So this is a time as well, probably for the next few weeks or so, I would say diving into some projects or things that clear things up, organizing, downsizing like I am as well, it's a great opportunity to do this. But not only does this card actually deals with the physical aspect of diving deep, but it's also what I said at the very beginning with the Fool's card, the Fool's Embrace card, saying that you really have to dive deep into yourself in order to bring up, or literally bring up the pearls from yourself. This is uncovering that emotion and the experiences that you've had in order to get to that pearl. And sometimes the uncovering of this can be very raw. It can be triggering in so many different ways, but you need to do that in order to get to that pearl. And so let's dive into this card and find out a little bit more about it. Embracing risk, diving into a task, and new discoveries. It's easy to play in the shallows where the waters are clear and you can see all that glitters by your feet. Anyone can venture here. There is little risk, nothing to discover, no dark secret, nothing that you can't already perceive. The treasure has long been picked away, replaced by a gentle certainty. In the shallow river is safety and no surprises. But that's not who's calling you now. The deep diver invites you to take the plunge with him. You can't see the bottom, but you must swim into the dark depths to find the mystery that eludes you now. He knows where the pearls lie underneath the ancient sands. You are called to look beyond the surface for things for your answer. Let your intuition propel you into the water, allowing your memories to swirl around you and your emotions as well as to swell up. Let's try this again. Let your intuition propel you into the water, allowing your memories to swirl around you and your emotions to well up as you face the unknown. Like I said, bring up those emotions. You gotta feel them. Your curiosity will be your greatest guide. You'll surely discover something wondrous to bring back to everyone who is waiting by the shore. But only you will truly know the value of your discovery. Are you willing to do that work? Dive in, make the commitment to see it through, and you'll be amazed. So this is not only just about ourselves. Like I said, it does have a reflection about the global situation that is going on as well. It says, let your curiosity and your intuition be your guide, but also dig in deeper, research, know that what it is that is being said upon the surface is not always what glitters and what is the truth. There is always something deeper that is happening, and particularly in this world right now, as we're seeing new things come up, there are truths about different things that are coming up that are very difficult, and some new things that are actually surfacing that are bringing reactions and conclusions that may need a little bit more depth or research in order to come up with more answers. Use your intuition, use your discernity for this, and try to find out what the truth is behind this. And better yet, what is your truth? What is your truth in this? Because your truth means something. Your opinion matters. It talks about new discoveries as well. And this is about yourself. It's kind of like walking into the fog and not knowing what's in at the end of it, or if you know basically what you're going to be stepping into. This is our journey at this time. We have no idea what's going to happen. We also have no idea what's happening in our lives. That is the duality of things, that basically we are kind of treading through this journey without knowing what the next step is going to bring. And to a degree, it is the fun of it, not knowing what's happening. It makes us curious. It makes us research more. It allows us to use our cognitive understandings of things and bring about that scientific part of us in order to find the answers. And that is exactly what is happening right now when you dive deep within yourself, finding answers to things that might have happened in the past, that because of your experiences from the past until now, you can now find better answers. Let's look at the next card. Dances on one foot, balancing act. Wow. Okay, so how this reflects from this new moon is basically saying that we are kind of doing a balancing act at this particular time, and especially I'd say, and I'm gonna kind of hazard a guess that basically this is for more or less the next 2 weeks, because in the next 2 weeks we have full moon. We talked about Fool's Embrace, transmuting the pain that we have, what it is that we've experienced, and basically taking that and transmuting it into something that is more positive as well as more productive for ourselves, using it to a benefit. then that means that we also have to dive deep. And that is at this particular time, diving deep into some of the emotions that we've had to deal with and or will deal with, and finding out where they originate from. Find out basically if you know where the origin came from, then move forward from them by dealing with them at this particular time. Maybe also look at that and see, how did I benefit from that? For example, if you have a loss of a job, if you lose your job, or in the past you lost a job and you were kind of trying to find that balance in the balancing act, which is about to happen, then where did you go? If you could look back and basically say, I wonder what happened, and just kind of give yourself that opportunity to reflect upon it. Where did that take you? And instead of doing the what ifs, basically just see what had actually occurred and where you are today. And if you're not happy with where you are today, this is how we bring the balance back. We're dealing with the past so that, or basically reflecting upon the past, so that we can move forward in the future on this particular journey, even though we don't know where we're going, into a balanced state. So not only are we doing this by ourselves, we as a single individual are part of a collective of individuals. That's everybody that's on this planet. And we are all connected. This is, you hear about it, it might be a woo-woo thing to say, but it's not. We are scientifically, energetically connected with each other because we live on this planet and because our roots go real deep when it comes to humanity and how humanity had evolved. So our energies are always connected with each other. And that means that we also have this connection with nature. And what we do and what we feel on the inside always has consequences that are related to nature. So if we look back and we see what is basically what we feel at this time, could that be contributing to the chaos that's happening? Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is the time to look at how you can balance yourself with a state of joy and or bliss in order to bring that joy and bliss into the world. So let's look at what the card has to say. Oh, geez, it's like right behind this card here. So dances on one foot balancing act, resourcefulness and saying yes to life. When dances on one foot shows up, you are called to find a new balance. Just as a dancer moves gracefully into each pose, no matter how precariously balanced a step might seem, you must bring equanimity to the situation before you, no matter how thorny or difficult a relationship seems. If you are putting too much effort into managing your life, work, relationship, family, and digital media, you are missing the point. You have to be dancing while juggling your entire life, knowing that at any one time, half of it is going to be up in the air. It's not that you are doing too much and find it impossible to catch up. Rather, it's that you are confusing readiness with preparation. You will never, ever be fully prepared for all the challenges in life, but you can be ready to say yes to a new invitation the universe offers you. Live in a state of yes to spirit, and note everything not infused with life, romance, vitality, and the sacred. You will be surprised by how quickly your load lightens when you hold true to this lesson. You are challenged now to work with the resources available to you and not be seduced by the belief, if only I had more blank. Life has provided you with everything you need to accomplish your goals and fulfill your mission. When it feels like you are losing your balance, do not contract, holding your arms close to your chest, for you will fall. Instead, reach out and extend them fully, saying yes to Spirit's steadying hand. Something else to say about this is that you're not alone. You're never alone. You always have your guides with you, even though you can't see them with your physical eyes. You always have help. If you ever need help, call on these guides to help you. And it is done. That is the way the universe works. However, take and do a little bit of action if it requires something material as the conclusion. So if you want something, for example, if you need an income, then take the necessary steps in order to achieve that income. But always look at that which you are passionate about, not just any old thing, because it's, to a degree, kind of a waste of time in a sense. You go to a job that you don't really enjoy and you just go there for the money. Been there, done that. Not worth it, especially when you feel as though there's really nothing in the job that's keeping you there. So that's just something about work. However, your life is much more meaningful than that. And give yourself that benefit of the doubt. Establish your worth. And then that balance in your life will just be amazing. It'll just come to you. Ask and ye shall receive. And that's exactly what is part of the newness of the new moon. I believe the new moon is in Cancer. I could be wrong about that, but I believe it's in Cancer. And if anything, this is a time where emotions are running high. Emotions will be high throughout the summer. So we're into actually July in the next week. So from July and August, I'm telling you that basically we're going to have some bouts of beautifulness, beautiful kind of stability. I'd have to say the balance might seem right. But thereafter and off and on, we're going to see some chaotic stuff coming out. And during that time, it's going to be important for you to try and get that balance back within your life. You could be very much into work. You could be giving too much to your work, to a project, to a person, to a situation, and it feels like you are depleted. This is where you need to reflect and find out what it is that you need to do, or lack thereof. In other words, what you need to just put the halt and boundaries on in order to achieve that balance. And you will come to it. Just know, as the card says, that basically everything that happens around you, you may not have control over it, but you do have control over how balanced you are and how you feel, what emotions you feel, and how you can benefit from them. Do you want to wallow in the pittiness and the pitiful part of guilt and shame? Or would you like to lift yourself above that and say, you know what? I choose not to be shameful, guilty, depressed for the rest of my life, because that's going to sound, it's just going to be a tedious torture within your life. I would choose to be happy. That is your choice, and that is our free will. So with that, I'm just going to summarize this and saying that basically, from a fool's embrace, transmuting pain, let's transmute our pain from any type of things that you have to deal with that have been unpleasant into something that can become very beneficial, or at least look back at it, reflect upon what has happened in your life, and see where the benefits are today. Deep diver, diving into a task. Well, this is a big task for you to do. And diving into it means going in deep. And when you do, you kick up the gunk, and underneath lies the pearl. Then we are dancing on one foot with a balancing act, and that's basically holding the balance within ourselves. And that way we can start to manifest balance within the world. And it takes some time for us to be able to learn how to manifest that part, but trust that you can do this. Balance is one of those things that it's also saying in your emotional state, especially right now where emotions are high, the new moons and the full moons, we have high emotions. And knowing that these astrological aspects, we just had an alignment of planets as well on June 24th, I believe it was, that lined up, I believe, Mercury, Venus, the moon, Saturn, and Jupiter. It's something that happens once every 100 years or so. Somebody said something about 18 years, and I'm not too sure if it's in a particular constellation that it happens every 18 years, but what's relevant is the fact that we have alignment. Any alignment between any planets will always cause a higher state of emotions upon this planet. And don't forget, we're all connected, including nature. We're connected to nature. That includes our solar system and the galaxy. So whatever happens on the outside is going to happen to us. And we have the power to take that emotion, to take those feelings that we get and transmute them to something that is more beneficial, not only to ourselves, not only to our collective, but also to the world, to the earth that we live on. So keep these things in mind. I know it's a lot of diving deep, but it is something that we have to do. And that's what's happening at this particular time. Probably within the next few weeks, this is something that we're going to have to deal with, and things that just will come up. Relationship is right involved with that as well. So think about anything, relationship, projects, work, things around the house, family, anything that requires us to have a balance in our life is going to come up, and we will have to deal with that. So keep these things in mind, and don't forget to remember that you may not always be able to control everything, but what you can control is your emotion, your emotional reaction, and the outcome using your emotional reaction. So with that, I wish you a wonderful new moon, and which is happening tomorrow, June 28th in the Northern Hemisphere, at around 9 p.m. Central Time. Anyways, that's where I'm at. So it's around that time. And so have a wonderful new moon, and please like this video. If you do, subscribe to my channel so that you can get some notifications for new videos that are coming up. And believe me, there will be. And we will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.